talking about running an early music ensemble in the UK today and its highs, lows, challenges and opportunities for the future. In a kind of mix-up role reversal, today my husband and harpsichordist Tom is going to be asking me the questions. And I don't know what the questions are yet. I know the topics, but I don't know the questions themselves. So this is going to be a very live interview. Tom, over to you.
Okay, well my first question is, in addition of course to being our recorder player in Ensemble Hesbury, you take the main role as the sort of manager and administrator of the ensemble.
I do.
So my first question is, what's the most rewarding and interesting part of that job?
Okay, so I guess it's, from a personal perspective, it's brilliant because you get to use all your different skills. So obviously you have to use your artistic planning skills, musical skills, but also administrative skills. I don't mind doing admin. I quite enjoy sending emails. Not everybody does. And I quite enjoy a bit of networking, a bit of marketing as well. So all of these different things come into running an ensemble. In terms of running an early music ensemble though, there's an added sort of interest in that we have so many different types of audiences to reach. So we have early music audiences, of course, specifically, and then we also, of course, offer our programs to festivals of classical mainstream festivals and indeed musical festivals in general. So it's just really brilliant to be able to kind of reach lots of new audiences with early music in this kind of, really vibrant sort of world we have.
Fantastic. And even at the moment during the pandemic, when there's perhaps a bit less going on than normal, tell us a little bit about some of the day-to-day sort of hidden tasks that you have to do. I think you hinted a little bit there because you're talking about engaging with different people, so I think that might hint a little bit about the kind of social media element, etc. But I think there's quite a lot of things that people will be interested to hear about.
Yeah, so actually, running an ensemble of any kind is sort of, I guess, 20% playing, 80% admin. So you're doing a lot of different things on a daily basis. You're writing to festivals, asking for concerts or different promoters. You are communicating with your audiences, your supporters, thanking them for support and donations. You are marketing the ensemble, so you might be creating a publicity brochure, making a program, perhaps designing logos, and advertising on social media, as Tom mentioned. So social media takes up quite a bit of time. You need to be posting a few times a week, and we have Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, so that it takes time. So I try to do about sort of an hour a day on social media and kind of emails just to keep things going, but sometimes it can be more than that, obviously.
Yeah, really interesting. So our wonderful audience come along to hear us play in a festival or a concert series or something, and they see us come out on the stage, play the music, perhaps talk a little bit about the music, and hopefully have a wonderful musical experience. Could you tell us a little bit about, in brief, the kind of journey from idea and logistics up to that stage?
Yeah, so, okay, we start with obviously programming, and that might start with exploring some new repertoire, all the four of us.
And that's interesting, because that sometimes will take us into an avenue we haven't necessarily expected.
Exactly, yeah, we might start to think about something completely different that we didn't really think of, and then a program might come out of that, for example, or we might program on a particular theme, a different period. With early music, it's really important for us to construct a theme that people can really connect with, that's not just sort of some Handel and some Bach, not that we don't love Handel and Bach, but it's really important if we're playing some undiscovered or rarer composers, as we love to do, then it's really important for us to be able to kind of put those together into a program that really sort of makes sense to people, even people who don't know about early music. And then we kind of move, of course, to offering that program to promoters, working with them to and fro to sort of make that particular concert, if they accept it, really specific to their theme or their particular sort of focus for their festival or concert series.
Because everyone has slightly different priorities, don't they?
Yeah, of course, and that's absolutely, there's definitely no one program fits all, so we really like to work with different promoters to sort of make sure that we are giving them kind of, the best possible thing that they can have as well. And then, of course, then there's endless practical arrangements, travel, fee negotiation and what else, hotels, all this different kind of thing, which I won't go into, but these kind of things are maybe the few months in the lead up to a concert, and rehearsing, of course. So really there's a lot of work that goes into sort of the period of perhaps even a year before a concert takes place.
Yeah, interesting. Including moving the harpsichord, of course.
Including moving the harpsichord, let's not forget about that.
Well, that's the first part over, and in a minute you're going to hear a few more questions about the future of running an early music ensemble.
Exactly, but first, here's some Handel by the ensemble performed in the Temple Church.
So let's think a little bit about the challenges and about the future. We find ourselves in this weird pandemic. It's very strange artistically and musically. What are the challenges going forward?
Yes, it is very strange. I think there's quite a lot of challenges associated with what medium we perform in. So, of course, I think we talked a bit last week about live streaming and the fact that we're going to be needing to create online content from now onwards, alongside and definitely not replacing our live content, but that's going to be something that's going to have to change for most ensembles. And then, of course, just really trying to work with the industry in general, so promoters and media, etc., to really restart the industry. Of course, everything's been kind of held kind of in a vacuum, and as we all know, festivals are really struggling because a lot of them weren't able to operate last year, and many may not be able to do so this year, depending on how things go. So we need to be kind of collaborative and work to see how we can support the festivals and work with colleagues and network just to be able to kind of support each other and bring everyone out of this to kind of get the industry and the early music scene in the UK back to its former kind of glory, I guess.
And without wishing to make this in any way political, What might be some of the impacts of Brexit on a group?
Okay, so Brexit, I mean, it's a bit complicated. I mean, I think obviously it will have an impact on early music ensembles, particularly younger ensembles. We are used to the idea that we can just do a concert in Germany. We have a few later this year, or the Netherlands, and it's going to be a little bit difficult practically. I think that's the sort of main thing. We hope that the current sort of difficulties with visas and all this kind of thing will be overcome at some point, and because we really think it's important that UK ensembles are able to perform in Europe, but also that we can invite our colleagues to perform here. It's a two-way thing, and I think this, really important to have UK ensembles represented in Europe, because of course the European early music scene is huge, and UK has been really influential on it, for the past 50-60 years, right, if not longer. So this is something that we want to continue, and we just kind of fingers crossed that we can get it sort of free-flowing in the next couple of years.
Well, thank you very much for letting me ask you some questions this week. Back over to you.
Yeah, so thank you, Tom. That was very, very illuminating in many ways, and thank you for thinking of those questions. Next week, we're actually going to be looking at what it's like, or what it was like, to be a musician in the 18th century, and particularly in 18th century London. So I'm going to be thinking about comparing a little bit with my own life, and how a recorder player would have made their money and what they would have done in early 18th century London. So do join me then.